Okay, guys, so just a quick update on render. I called this in the Discord. Let's have a look now in the Discord. Okay, so you can see here on the 4th of April, I said, as you're already aware, we were spot long on render. So we were already spot long in swing trades on the left here. And what was initially going to just be a swing trade, where we entered, I think it was around $1.27 to $1.30. I then, obviously dived more into render, what render have been doing recently, and then explained to the group why I'm so bullish on render long term. So I upgraded it into my long term buys, which is where I put signals and calls for, spot buys that I am intending to accumulate over the rest of the bear market, really. So these kind of calls, these are the calls that I'm most confident in long term. So investing in them with the view of holding them way into the next bull market and accumulating them as heavy as we can. Doesn't matter what price they go to. If anything, we want them to go lower and lower and lower over the remainder of the bear market, so we can accumulate. But obviously, if they give us short-term profits, we will take and skim profits on the way up, so that if they do eventually pull back and make new lows, or even revisit the bear market lows or anywhere around that area, we can add to our bag and build a bigger bag. These are the coins where I truly believe we'll have 50, 70, 100x potential in the next bull market. It's just about accumulating through the ups and downs, not getting put off or scared by FUD or short-term price action, and shitting it out of them, and just stacking and focusing on the next bull market. Because as soon as the bull market comes around, all the people that panic sold, all the people that walked away in the bear market because they couldn't handle a downtrending market for 2 years, and all the FUD, all the crashes, just got shook out of their bags, round about the lows, and then left the market. And it'll only take the first month of the bull market, first month or 2 months, when people are still doubting it, and you'll see maybe even a year's worth of downtrend eradicated in a month or two, when they rip 10x or 15x in a month, and then just continue on a relentless uptrend from there. People that sold, people that didn't accumulate in the bear market, are going to be chasing their tail and having to chase pumps when they could already be up 15, 20x, which is exactly what my group will be with all my long-term buys. Maybe not all of them, but I'm fairly confident with my track record that my long-term buys will do extremely well long-term. And to be honest, they're doing really well. Majority of them have done really well even in the short term this year. So render, here's an example of render and an update on render since I called it in my long-term buys. I put out that I'm heavily stacked in render. I will accumulate it if it goes lower. And, the more I read about render, the more bullish I am. Reasoning why I'm so bullish on render, it's got good tokenomics. Majority of the tokens are in circulation, which is always a good sign. And I feel like it hits 2 or 3 major narratives for the next cycle, and narratives that I think will be the biggest narratives next cycle, which is decentralized computing, metaverse and gaming, and rendering. Render basically hits all of them. It's a decentralized computer, and it's rendering images, and which is going to be adopted in Hollywood, in films, in metaverse, in gaming. They're all going to have to use and AI. Sorry, that was the third. That was the third narrative that render hits. It hits AI, it hits decentralized computing, and it hits metaverse and gaming. And I do think they're going to be the biggest narratives. And render does tick all of those boxes, and it's already being used by some of the biggest companies on earth. It's going to be used by gaming companies. It's going to be used by mobile phone suppliers like Samsung and Apple, and it's going to be used in gaming, AI, and metaverse. So it ticks all those boxes. It's got good tokenomics, and it's got real working products and real life utility. So to me, I can't see how it will fail. I think this is going to be one of the most bullish projects out there. I think it's going to do extremely well, and I think it won't be long until retail start flocking into it and FOMO buying it once it's already ripped. But yeah, you can see on the 4th, I called that for a long-term buy. And even in the last 7 weeks. So where's the 4th? Here's the 4th. We were actually in it from earlier than the 4th. That's just when I upgraded it to a swing buy. So to a long-term buy, sorry. And you can see even since then, it went up to 120%, a few days ago, and we're now sitting at just under 100% gains on spot in a bear market when Bitcoin has been, ranging sideways, chopping up and down for the last 2 months. Render has provided the group with 100% gains. Well, at the highs the other day, 120% gains since my initial call. So I have skimmed some profits. I skimmed some profits at 155 initially, but then I rebought at 175 on this dip here, which was another call we put out in the group. So we took some initial profits at 155 as it wasn't initially a swing play, but then I re-added on this pullback here at 175. And we did have another bid at 155, but just didn't go low enough for that before it's been sent again. I'm not currently taking any more profits here as it's reflipped the old, local highs to support. If it starts breaking down back below that level again, I'll probably skim a load more profits and, re-enter on the next major pullback. But Render, I do think, has 100x potential in the next bull market. I'm extremely bullish on this project. It's one of the few crypto coins out there that I think it has major industry changing tech. And it's one that I plan on probably making my biggest altcoin bag going into the next cycle. So yeah, super bullish on Render, and it's already absolutely printed for us in the last 2 months. Absolutely printed, but if it continues to print, amazing. If it pulls back, we'll be definitely adding to our bag and accumulating heavy. But if you do want more calls like this, if you want to be in a Discord place where you are going to print in a bear market, and this isn't the only spot call that we've printed in the bear market over the last 6 months, there's been plenty and usually never miss on my long-term and spot calls, as well as daily. Well, a very high, I'm not going to say, I win 100% of our futures trades, but we have a very high success rate on both futures and spot. So if you want to sign up, if you want to get access, then you can click the link in the bio. It's the best place to be. There's nowhere in crypto better. Thank you, guys. I'll do another updated video on probably Casper next, but that's just my rundown on Render and update on the long-term spot buy.